Hello, my name is Joshua Hayes. I am 37 years old. I served, sorry about that, I served 6 years in the Army National Guard in the state of Mississippi. I am currently going through some medical issues having to do with the fact that my brain does not enter REM sleep, and I also have some digestive issues, and it could be one or the other. When I was in my 20s, I met a woman. We had a one-night hookup, and she wound up getting pregnant from it. And we had long talks about what we wanted to do as far as family structure, all that stuff, whether she wanted to keep it, think about having an abortion. She decided to keep the baby, and us barely knowing each other, it was just a hookup. I'm not gonna lie to you. She decided that it would be better if her and her family raised the baby, and I was not an active part of the baby's life. I was not in a good place personally. I was still kind of in my fuckboy phase, and we came to an amicable agreement that if she ever needs anything, she knows how to get in touch with me. And since my name is not on the child's birth certificate, she gets umbrellaed under her father, who is a retired military colonel, the girl who I had to hook up with. The baby gets all of her health care it needs taken care of through TRICARE. When I got out of the military, right before I was honorably discharged, I failed a piss test. I popped hot for marijuana. I was not gigged for this because I was literally a week out from the end of my active service date. So the deal that I signed with the United States Army was that I would sign away my 2 years at active service, and I have to wait until I'm, I think 50 before I can qualify for veterans benefits. Otherwise, I have health insurance, so I don't really need anything from the military, but I am proud of my service. Now, the first thing you're asking yourself is, why the hell is this guy telling me all this? Well, the reason I'm telling you all this is because I don't want to keep secrets from you. Because if the first thing a man tells you is a lie, then nothing he tells you after that can you ever take any kind of serious, or you always have to wonder if this person is lying to you. You now know every negative thing about me. I have told you all the bad shit. The good stuff is that I am happily married. I have a wonderful family comprised of myself, my wife Rachel. And when I say happily married, I mean we are married in name. We're not married on paper, because fuck the United States government. I don't need their permission to love someone, nor do I need some church's approval. Second, another good thing about me is that I work very hard at home because Rachel is the primary breadwinner. As far as 9 to 5, I work very hard at home to keep a clean and happy house for myself and her, our multitude of animals, and I spend a lot of time out in the garden. I also do this. I do the gaming channel, which is okay. I do a lot of media research. I have a Twitter that I keep active and try to spread information, both pop culture and positive, and about the current events. I know that you see to my left, your right. Well, no, your left as well, I believe. Right here in this area, you will see a headline that says, "Parents, begged police for 40 minutes to stop the Texas school shooter. I'm just going to leave this here, because this right here is going to hammer home a lot of the points that I'm about to make. This is not a show about video games. This is a show about American culture and the fact that we are speedballing at an ever-increasing rate towards an inevitable destruction. And I will try to highlight those points as best I can. Now, it should be stated that everything I'm about to say is, of course, my opinion. The only things that I will state as empirical fact are things that I can prove. Things that we already know, and things that you could find out for yourself if you took 5 seconds to Google. But to begin everything, I'd like to read some words. Now, these words come from something called the Havamal. I don't know if you can read that, but what these are the words of Odin. If you've watched any of my other stuff, my gaming or anything like that, I think I've made reference to it. I worship the old gods because they predate Christianity by something around, I don't know, 30,000 fucking years. And they weren't used as a tool by the Vatican to conquer most of the known world and enslave, mentally, literally everyone they fucking meet. So, without further ado, I will begin. This comes from Wisdom and Counsel. The Wisdom and Counsel of Odin to wanderers and guests. I'm going to read two stanzas. The Havabal 1. At every door, ere one enters, one should spy around, one should pry around. For uncertain is the witting that there is no foeman sitting within before one on the floor. Sitting within before one on the floor. The second, Havamal 1:38. Let a man never stir on his road one step without his weapons of war. For unsure is the knowing when these shall rise of a spear on the way without. Fuck the police. Especially, fuck the Uvalde police in Texas and anybody else who is a member of the city police, whether it's New Orleans PD, Los Angeles PD, NYPD. Fuck you. Directly. Why do I say this? I've got my bullet points on my paper here because I was born in the fucking 80s. So this is how I like to do things. Right here. This is why. One thing we need to understand. There are people that put their lives on the line every single day for American citizens. There are firefighters that run into burning buildings. There are ambulance drivers and EMTs who go into low-income, high-income housing. It doesn't matter. They go in and they try to save that person's life, whether that person is a gang member or a fucking member of high society. However, when one person enters a school and begins slaughtering children, what do the police do? They show up and they attack the fucking parents! And the answer, why, is because they are fucking cowards. 90%, and yes, that includes the guy sitting there, you can miss me with that back to blue bullshit. I don't lick a boot when it's on my fucking neck. Most police officers are fucking cowards. They are someone who has failed at something else, whether it be military, college, or fucking their fucking sister. I have known plenty of police officers. I was a sheriff's deputy, and the fact that I worked at a county lockup. I was a corrections officer. I have never met a bigger groups of fucking degenerates and goddamn pieces of human shit. And I'm talking about the fucking cops. They are bullies. And they are cowards. They stand behind their fucking guns and badges, and they make you stand there and listen to your fucking children get slaughtered. And what do they do when you say, fine, I will go rescue my kid? They fucking knock you down, they pepper spray you, they tase you, and they fucking arrest you. Because they're not brave enough to go stop the goddamn kid who is actively killing children. But rather, they would instead hem up the one man who says, I've got a gun, let me go, I'll fucking do it. "19 dead kids. How many of you think that a single one of those police officers is going to get charged with murder? It took an off-duty Texas Border Patrol agent to go in there, take a bullet, and put that motherfucker down. And the police stood outside and did nothing, because that is what city police is worth. Fucking nothing. And if you need any better example, look at New Orleans and fucking Chicago. Don't tell me it's the politicians' fault. That motherfucker put on that badge and gun and said, I will defend. And they don't fucking do it. They are fine enforcement and they are agents of the fucking state. Millions in taxpayer dollars for fucking military surplus, heavy automatic weaponry, body armor, vehicles. And what do they do? When's the last time you saw a cop run into a fucking burning building? And it wasn't on goddamn TV. That badge doesn't mean anything. How did we get in this situation? Well, it's simple. You're a fucking coward. That's how we got in this situation. You got your goddamn internet, your fucking TV, your fucking video games, your goddamn Twitter, your Facebook, and you built this fucking bubble around yourself and said, hey, as long as I stay here, as long as I get my likes, as long as I get my views, as long as I get my fucking emojis, everything's okay. No, it fucking isn't. Nothing is okay. Look at where we just came from with this COVID bullshit. And now they're talking about monkeypox. And before that, it was fucking 9/11. Where the fuck is your goddamn spine? When those cops started pushing the civilians back, they should have fucking shot them. Because don't think for one goddamn second that one of those police officers wouldn't fucking shoot you. There is no order. There is no law so egregious that the police officers are not willing to enforce it, to include killing children. And if you want to argue with me, you go argue with the parents of those 19 fucking dead kids. Fuck the police. We are now at a point in this country, and I know you've heard this phrase before. Learn from history or be doomed to repeat it. We are fucking repeating it. We did not learn a goddamn thing. And here we are again. We now have a police force that acts as fine enforcement for the goddamn states and governors. They are not here to protect you. They are not here to serve you. They are here to take your money and break your fucking neck. A police officer can kneel on a man's neck for 8 goddamn minutes and kill him in the middle of a busy fucking street. And not a single fucking person is willing to stand up and say a goddamn word about it. And everyone that does gets immediately called a fucking anti-American. I'm not anti-American. I'm anti-fucking statist. I love my country, but I hate this fucking government. And that's not to say that I hate the government up and down. What I hate is the fact that we have let a bunch of people in their goddamn 80s, people who when they were young and doing stupid shit, they did not have a cure for syphilis. They do not have a cure for mad cow disease. Most of these people played with toys that were painted with lead. These are not elites. They are syphilited, demented, retarded sycophants. They are the children of people that never had to work for a goddamn thing because their parents were the greatest generation, because they fought World War II. They fought World War II because our country was in the middle of a fucking depression, because the things that Americans will not learn is that these people we call politicians are fucking idiots. They are stupid people. They are not invested in this society, and they do not care what happens to you. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, miss me with all that bullshit. They are psychopaths and sycophants who want money and power. Did you know that Paul Pelosi Jr., Nancy Pelosi's son, sits on the board of an oil conglomerate in fucking Ukraine? The country we just sent $40 billion to. The country that still has an active Nazi fucking battalion. Ukraine. To fight Russia? The country that we buy something like 70% of our oil from? And now we have high gas prices. When I was 16, gas was 89 cents a goddamn gallon. We've had high gas prices for 20 fucking years. You haven't been paying attention. And now you're suffering because of it. I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm going to get in your face and I'm going to fucking scream at you. Because you deserve it. You have sat on your fucking ass and done nothing. And you have watched as this country has torn itself apart. We are now doomed. There is no going back now. Well, actually there is, but it's going to require you to be very fucking uncomfortable. And you say to me, alright Josh, well you're so mad, you're so pissed off, what should we do? You get a fucking group together, you go down to your governor's mansion with weapons, and you say, get the fuck out! Now! That's what you do. We are past writing letters. We are past protesting. I am calling for dissent. I am a dissenter. I will broadcast my message. I've got plans to get on the ground and to get in people's faces and to ask questions and shoot footage in hopes that we don't have to start shooting fucking bullets. And some people could say that this is a very provocative statement that I'm making. I have a freedom of speech. Fuck you. Fuck you if you don't like it. We don't have much time left. We're probably, I'm going to say, one presidential election away from losing the right to have a fucking presidential election. I'm supposed to believe that this syphilited, demented, can't finish a fucking sentence, goddamn geriatric walking corpse that is Joe Biden is supposed to be the duly elected leader of this fucking country? I'm not saying necessarily that I think Trump's a better choice. I'm just saying, what the fuck are you goddamn thinking? 78 years old versus an 82-year-old? Are you out of your fucking mind? These people have been removed from society for more than 50 goddamn years, and none of them have never had a real fucking job. You're not supposed to vote for Republican or Democrat. You're supposed to vote for the guy that you think, or the woman that you think, is going to lead this country in the right fucking direction. And if the vote is no confidence, then you vote no fucking confidence. We need to demand better from our elected officials. They are not our leaders. They are our representatives who enact our will. The school shooting in Texas for me was the last straw. I cannot remain silent anymore. COVID really was the last straw, honestly. The Texas shooting really just spurned me into making my message public. After COVID, and God bless Rachel for putting up with me, but I told her I will not comply. I'm not getting the fucking shot. I'm not wearing a fucking mask. I'm not watching my fucking mouth. And if you want to stop me, you better be ready to fucking kill me. I'm not asking you. I am demanding that you stop being a fucking coward. Our country has been in a steady fucking decline since the 70s. There was a point in the 80s and 90s where we had this hope, this kind of ray of hope that came in the form of the emergence of Silicon Valley. The internet came out and it was unregulated and anybody could learn anything they wanted to know by typing in a few words. And then the goddamn corporatists showed up. And it's the same as these fucking goddamn snake oil salesmen who talk about Bitcoin and blah, 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 blah. Bitcoin is fucking worthless. It is a goddamn attaboy for solving math problems. And it got turned into a fucking pyramid scheme. If it doesn't exist, it is worthless. If you cannot hold it in your hand, it is worthless. I don't know who to tell you to write, contact, call, because I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to write a letter, call and leave a message. I don't want you to do that. I want you to get off your fucking ass. I want you to get up. I want you to form a group, and I want you to go down to your governor's office, your mayor's house, wherever, and you demand some fucking answers. Why are we sending $40 billion to Ukraine to fight Russia when we have zero fucking interest in either of those goddamn countries? It is money laundering. It is fraud. It is high crimes and treason right fucking in front of you. But you are not seeing it. You are refusing to see it. Fuck the Twitter people. Somebody just sent me a message. It's like, dude, you're going to scare the Twitter people. Fuck them if they're afraid. Die afraid. I refuse to live in fear. And I refuse to be silent. If they knock me off of Twitter, I'll start posting on YouTube. If they knock me off of YouTube, I'll start posting on Rumble. And if they knock me off of Rumble, I will go out in the street with the goddamn bullhorn and scream in people's faces. Stand the fuck up! They're literally killing your children! So now, we're going to bring it from a wide scope into a laser focus. And I want to talk about an organization called Act Blue. Well, what is Act Blue? You can go to the FEC filing of any Democratic candidate, and I say Democrat as in the party. You can go to look at any Democrat candidate, and you will see an organization named Act Blue. I discovered this, and this is not new news. This is something we've known forever. I'm just going to yell about it right now because I recently discovered it. So there's this organization called Act Blue. Now what they do is they collect money from all over the country, from political donors, and they fund Democrat candidates in various elections all over the state, which is perfectly legal. However, from what I understand, from the way I read it, and this is where I have to put an actual disclaimer. I could be incorrect. I have looked up everything that I could find, and I think I am correct. However, I could be incorrect. But from what I read, you cannot list on your FEC filing, your federal election commission, you cannot list a nonprofit by itself as a political donor. But if you go to Jones for AR's FEC filing, or several, really just pick a Democratic candidate, you're going to see it, except for a handful of few. The one that I found was in Arkansas, this lady named Jones, and I asked her about it, and she accused me for propping up the person she's running with. I have no affiliation with either of them. As a matter of fact, I think most politicians are absolute fucking scum. Because 90% of your politicians are, absolute pieces of human fucking garbage. They're people who want to make their living literally taking your hard-earned money and lying to you. We used to call them snake oil salesmen, hucksters, charlatans. We used to hang them, tar and feather them, run them out of town. It's time to resist. Plain and simple. Voting's not enough anymore. Because they've already shown it doesn't matter who you fucking vote for. Do I think Biden won the election fairly? Probably, because most Americans are fucking stupid. And if that offends you, too fucking bad. I'm willing to believe that Biden probably got elected legally. I mean, of course, there's like 13 states that allow non-citizens to vote, and for some reason, voter ID, you need a fucking ID to buy a pack of cigarettes. They want IDs to buy ammunition and guns. They want IDs to rent a motherfucking car. But when it comes to the most fundamental American right, the right to self-determination, when it comes to your political representatives, all of a sudden having an ID and proving that you are in fact an American fucking citizen becomes racist? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Are you serious? And you say, whoa, you sound kind of like a Republican. I am not a fucking Republican. Honestly, I think that $40 billion could have paid for the health care of a lot of people in this fucking country. But instead, we gotta funnel that fucking money to goddamn fucking Ukraine, so that way our politicians, fucking second and third generation degenerate goddamn children can have a couple $1 billion in their fucking bank account so they can sniff heroin off of a goddamn stripper's ass crack in Russia. Yeah, Hunter Biden, I'm talking about you. Yes, George Bush Jr., I'm talking about you. You know fucking Kennedy killed a man? Ted Kennedy, the one in office right now? No, I'm sorry, not a man. He killed a woman? He got drunk, drove his car into a fucking river, and she drowned, and he got out, and the first person he called was his fucking manager? We have allowed, we call them boomers. I call myself a boomer. Not because I'm old, but because I'm loud. We have allowed these fucking geriatric pieces of shit who have zero social investment in this country to prop themselves up as this goddamn senior oligarchy. And now that they're all in their mid-80s, death is breathing its cold, vicious breath down the back of their neck, and their gnarly little bony fucking fingers are grabbing a hold of every ounce of power that they can. They're trying to strangle the very fucking life of freedom out of this country in hopes that the next goddamn fucking group of degenerates that they've got lined up will easily be able to just slide into the positions of power to keep the fucking machine turning. So they stay rich and you stay fucking poor. Did you know you're still paying taxes to fund the goddamn war in Vietnam? So this organization, Act Blue, why am I bringing it up? Because it's a known Democrat, and I say Democrat like DNC. It is a known organization for funneling dark money. They are actively propping up establishment, and I use that term kind of the same way you hear other media pundits or whatever, which I'm not. I'm not in the fucking media. Don't call me a media guy. Anyway, they're funneling this money to the establishment-approved candidates. Thousands of dollars in unregistered donations. They're all over the FEC filings of these fucking people. All you gotta do is look at it. I called her out for it. This Jones lady. I called her out for it. I asked her, where, and I put up this is all on Twitter if you want to go see it. She's got me blocked now, so she may have unblocked me. I called her out for blocking me. But she responded to me directly and said that if I think that something's wrong, I should report it. This is me reporting it. If I'm wrong, I'm libelous. I don't give a fuck. Fuck her. Fuck her entire goddamn party. Fuck everyone that supports her. These people are taking your money, they're lying to you, and then when you act up, they send their fucking police after you. 40 minutes. Those parents had to stand there begging those police officers to stop their children from being killed. We have now a report that the commander on the ground thought that it might be a barricaded subject. And so he issued a order for the police to stand down. If you live in that Texas town, you need to get some people, form a group, arm yourself, go down to that sheriff's office and demand the immediate resignation of that police office, and demand the immediate resignation of every one of those fucking officers. And if they refuse, you go in there and you drag them the fuck out by their goddamn boots. Resist. Dissent. Do not comply. Fight back. I have this whole list of bullet points about this Act Blue thing, but I just cannot. I'm having a hard time shifting to it mentally because of the sheer goddamn outrageousness of what has fucking transpired over the last 72 hours. How is it that this kid, who had previously made posts about wanting to be a school shooter, this kid who was known to the FBI, this kid who got his hands on a $3,000 automatic rifle, and yes, I say AR is an automatic. That is, I know what fucking automatic rifle means. Illegal automatic rifles are illegal in this country. I mean, fully automatic rifles are illegal in this country. What I want to know is how a 19-year-old got a hold of a debit card and how a fucking gun store didn't take one look at this kid and go, something is very fucking wrong here. Yes, anybody of age has a legal right to own a firearm. The FBI knew who this fucking kid was. I'm not going to say his name or show his picture because I'm not trying to glorify this fucking bastard. I hope he's burning in hell, well, freezing in hell right now. So here's my question. What are you going to do? You sitting there watching this right now. What are you going to do? You going to hide? What if it's your kid? What are you going to do when they try to stick another fucking needle in your arm? What are you going to do when your kids are getting fucking shot and the police are beating your ass? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when the next politician that gets elected wants to send 40 more billion fucking dollars to a country that doesn't make a fuck for us? What are you gonna do? I don't think you're gonna do anything because you're fucking afraid. Or you can't be fucking bothered to invest some goddamn thought into your own fucking future beyond the fucking wall that you built around yourself. What are you gonna do when they're kneeling on your fucking neck? What are you gonna say when they're sticking their fingers down your fucking throat? Are you just gonna stand there and watch? Fight back. Stop being a pussy!